You've been placed in similar situations yourself, Penny, have you not? Yes, I have done some undercover work, but to be able to keep it up for several weeks, months even, must be challenging work. Beth gave an appreciative smile. Yes, it is. And this case has been particularly challenging, for reasons I'll explain now. What do we know about Mr. Hamilton's assistant, with whom she was supposedly committing adultery? Asked James. His name is Mr. John Smollett, a charming young chap of African descent. Susan Hamilton is also young. I mention this because Mr. Hamilton is quite a bit older, almost 20 years older than his wife, I should think. But the charming assistant is the same age as Mrs. Hamilton, is he? Asked James. Yes, and there is an undeniable attraction between the two. It also became apparent to me fairly swiftly that Susan was unhappy in her marriage. Mr. Hamilton is rather a loud, brash man, and his manners tend to be quite coarse when he's had a drink. To be quite frank with you, the pair are poorly matched. I can't imagine why Susan's family approved the marriage. She's young and well educated, while I'm not convinced that he comes from a particularly good family, nor that he received a thorough education as a boy. However, he has acquired a good deal of knowledge about ancient Egypt and its artifacts in recent years. I suppose their shared love of the country is what brought the couple together. My cat Tiger strolled confidently into the room, stopping abruptly when she noticed the unknown woman sitting on the settee. She lowered her body and swiftly trotted over to the window. "What a lovely cat," said Beth. "Is she scared of me?" "Just wary," I replied, as Tiger jumped onto the window sill and surveyed us. "Did you find any evidence that Mrs. Hamilton was committing adultery with Mr. Smollett?" It was soon apparent that they were fond of one another, although I never managed to determine whether or not that fondness had extended into an extramarital affair. Events rather took over, you see. "What happened?" I asked. "A few things, actually. Firstly, the whole situation began to feel very wrong to me. I had grown to like Susan Hamilton a great deal, and I began to feel ashamed that I was lying to her. I've worked on a number of similar cases, but have never harboured such a sentiment before. I've always managed to maintain a facade and distance myself from the situation. On many occasions, I have found the people I've spied on quite unpleasant, so I had no qualms about spying on them. But I had great sympathy for Susan. Her husband can be quite the bully, and actually I felt she deserved a bit of happiness with Mr. Smollett. Therefore, I resolved to tell Mr. Hamilton that I no longer wished to work on the case. For the first time in my career, I decided to leave the job unfinished." "What did he make of that?" asked James. "There was no opportunity to find out, as it was then that things took a very strange turn indeed." Chapter 2. There was an Egyptology event at the Copeland Hotel in Chelsea last weekend. Beth continued. It was organised by the Ancient Egypt Society. The event began on Friday evening and continued until Sunday afternoon, and all the guests were invited to stay at the hotel. The Hamiltons have a home in Camberwell, but chose to take a room at the Copeland for 2 nights. It's a pleasant hotel, and a significant discount had been offered on the usual rate. The couple had plans to travel to Paris for another event after the weekend. The Hamiltons invited me along as their guest. By this time I had attended several Egyptology exhibitions and had developed a genuine interest in the subject. Mr. Smollett was also due to attend, and I think Mr. Hamilton saw the weekend as an opportunity for